Welcome to the first of 3 presentations about the History Controlled Assessment 2011 to 2012. This one will focus on the first question, which, as you can see, is what was the impact of the My Lai incident? It's important here that we think about what the examiner is actually asking you to do. The key word in this question is impact. You are not looking at a description of what happened, you are not looking at the events, you're not looking at the causes. The key thing here is the consequences. It's all about the consequences of the My Lai incident. So what do you need to do well? Well, you need to think about the different types of impact. For example, were they political? Were they social? Was it a militaristic impact? Think about how long the impact lasted. Did it last a few days, a few weeks, a few months, or longer? Was it short term, medium term, or long term in terms of its impact? Exactly who was impacted by the My Lai incident? What impact did each group feel? What length of impact did they have to undergo? What was it like to be the person affected by the My Lai incident? Please try and add some relative importance to what you write about each impact. Is it more or less important than another one? Is it very important in itself? Is it not very important? And so on. Remember always to use sources to back up what you're saying and include where, when and from whom these sources are taken. You must include that information in your answer. So who was affected? In your answer, consider the following: the villagers, the Viet Cong, Charlie Company, the United States Army, the peace movement in the United States of America, and the long-term impact on America and her armed forces. Each of these groups of people, and there may be more that you find in your research, were impacted by the My Lai incident, and you have to understand and explain to the examiner and show the examiner that you know the extent of the impact on these groups and any others you come across. Remember, when it comes to planning, point, evidence, explanation. Remember your P chain. In every paragraph you must describe the impact of what happened. You must categorize it. Remember, was it social, was it political, and so on. Use your higher level thinking skills to evaluate the importance of each impact. Try and refer to the question in some way. Try and make sure that within each paragraph there is a little phrase which suggests you're linking this to the question, but also link it to the paragraphs on either side. Use your connectives, use your link phrases, use the words that you are used to using to make sure that your answer flows neatly. And again, remember, use a source to back up every single point with where, when and from whom it is taken, written either in brackets next to it or in a little footnote at the bottom. Your conclusion is very, very important. Actually draw an answer. Use the actual word impact. Make sure that it reflects your actual answer. Don't spend an entire essay talking about how it had massive impact on various things and then say in your conclusion, actually, it didn't have much impact at all. Answer the question. When you go into the assessment, you can take one side of A4 as a plan, 2 sides of A4 as notes. On these 3 pages, somewhere, include your introduction, have a note of what the main text of each paragraph will say, have quotes to back up every point, I will say it again, quotes to back up all of your points, and include a good and strong conclusion. With all of this, going into the assessment, you will do well. You will, if you follow the steps that we've outlined in this presentation. Remember that this will help you in your final answer. So these are almost as important as what you write in your final answer as well. So try and get as much information into the available space as you can. Now good luck, and off you go to start your research. Remember, follow the steps outlined in this presentation. Do good, solid research, come up with your quotes, find your points, your evidence, and assess each little impact, and you will do well.